Permissionless ICOs are finally live on MetaDAO, making it easier than ever for entrepreneurs all around the world to raise capital via the internet in hours. What's up, guys? Futardio, MetaDAO's permissionless ICO platform, is finally live, making it easier than ever for creatives and builders around the world to raise money to fund their dream projects by launching an ownership coin via Futardio. And that's exactly what we are gonna talk today. I would like to introduce you to the Futardio Launchpad. I will walk you through it step by step, how you as a builder, creator, entrepreneur can raise money via this new platform in hours, or as an investor, how you can use it to back these dream products and aspiring entrepreneurs. Then we will talk about the era of the solo founder or the solopreneur, which is uniquely enabled by this new form to raise capital on the internet, also called Capital Formation 2.0. And finally, I would like to discuss MetaDAO's modes and share some of my personal opinions why I think that MetaDAO is in a very special spot as of now, basically reinventing the entire way how capital is being raised and how entrepreneurs are being funded across the internet, and how MetaDAO is positioned to capture a lot of value by doing so. All right, so without further ado, let's directly jump in. Futardio is finally live. So for those of you that don't know what Futardio is, let me explain. It is a sub-brand of MetaDAO, which was purpose-built for permissionless token launches. So on the one side, we have MetaDAO, these curated platforms where all the projects that try to raise money there are vetted by the team beforehand. Here, now we have Futardio, which is this permissionless token launchpad where everybody out there can try to raise money for their dream projects without asking for permission. And this should just accelerate new token launches and help people that want to raise smaller amounts to get capital to kickstart their projects. Think of it as the bump fund for ownership coins. We all know bump fund, you just go there, you click a few buttons and you launch your meme coin. But now with MetaDAO and Futardio, you don't launch a meme coin, you do create a token, but the token that you create is a ownership coin. And as we know, ownership coins come with full rights over the IP, the protocol's treasury, and all future cash flows. So that's the main and key differentiator to keep in mind. Moreover, these ICOs are 100% unruggable, unlike other token launchpads out there like Bump Fund, BEX, or you name it, because here all the funds raised are directly forwarded to a smart contract, which is governed by the DAO's treasury and not to the founder. So the only money that founders have access to are predefined by monthly spending limits that are automatically paid out to the team via the smart contract from the DAO's treasury. So it's impossible for the founders to run away with the entire money that they raised. It always remains in the treasury, fully backed by market-based governance. So the moment investors or token holders feel like the team is no longer actively contributing to the project or pushing it forward, they can just raise a proposal to claim back the entire treasury, preventing the team to just run away with their funds. And now, after this short introduction into Futardio, let's watch together their launch video.
I'd like to let 𝗪𝗵𝘁 speak for itself.
I'm excited to start the company. I have no money.
How do you bring the world closer together? You bring it through electronic data communications.
Why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
Super fire trailer, and it is so cool. Now, for the very first time in history, everybody can raise money instantly from anyone, anywhere around the world. But how does this work, you might ask? This sounds too good to be true, but let me explain you. First, let's tackle the perspective of participants or investors that wanna invest in people around the world that have exciting ideas and wanna tinker on their dream projects. In a second, I will show you how this all works on their official launchpad, but first, let's go over the theory. So you simply go to the Futardio website, and there you can find all the projects that are currently raising money. You can click on them and see what they are building, reading through a short project description, the amount of money that they are aiming to raise, how long the raise will be open, and their monthly burn rate. Then once you like a project, you can simply click on it, commit the amount of USDC that you want to invest in, and that's it. All you have to do now is to wait until the funding period runs out, which is max 24 hours. And then you come back and see whether the minimum cap of 100K or whatever they said was achieved or not. And then there are basically two outcome paths. If the cap was achieved, then you can move on and claim your tokens. So all the money that was raised is being forwarded to the project's treasury, and you receive a ownership coin in exchange that gives you full ownership over the project. And in the case the raise was not successful, meaning the project was not able to raise as much money as they wanted, all the investors get refunded their committed capital. And as we have discussed before, this all comes with built-in oversight, so the money from the treasury gets automatically forwarded on a monthly basis to the team, and if everything goes wrong, the investors can always intervene via Futardio or market-based governance. So this is how it works from the investor's side, but what about founders? If you are watching this video and you want to raise a little bit, just as much as 50K to kick off your vibe coding project or realize any other dream, you as well can go to the Futardio website, and within a few minutes and a few clicks, you can launch your project there, aiming to raise money for your project. So all you need is one SOL to start the entire process. So one SOL, this covers some smart contract deployment and ensures that only serious people launch there. It's a kind of prevention or spam mechanism, but one SOL is really not that much. It currently is less than $90. Then you will be forwarded to their 7-step form, which you have to fill out, where you define the goals of the project that you are building, the tokenomics, how much you want to give out to investors, how much you want to keep for yourself, your weekly, your monthly spending limits, who is signing the treasury, so on and so forth. Then a next step, once you filled out all the details around the project, you have to set up your Cayman Island entity via MetaDAO, which should not take longer than 5 minutes. And of course, you can always save and return to this page if you are unsure about some details, but this entire process should not take you longer than 15 minutes. And then if you're happy with all the details indicated here, you simply hit deploy, and yeah, your project goes live on Futardio, and investors out there can commit money to your project. And then if there is enough support for your project out there and you can hit the funding limit, all the money raised is automatically forwarded to the DAO entity that you have set up previously, and then on a monthly basis you receive money to keep building or start building your own project. And of course, the community always has an eye on you as a founder, so if you misbehave or if you don't live up to your expectations, they can always claim back the treasury from you and basically stop you working on the project. One final thing that I wanted to share with you before we jump into the Futardio website and I show you how to interact with it in real time, let's go over the raise parameters. So there are a few set limits, which is that every raise lasts at least 1 hour up to maximum 24 hours. And the minimum raise that a founder can ask for are 50K all the way up to 1 million. If you want to raise more, you have to go through the official version on MetaDAO. And here they introduced this new concept where early participants get a better allocation than folks that jump in last minute. This is a new mechanism that the team introduced to stop people from allocating the very last minutes and some shenanigans that were going on with MetaDAO raises on 𝗪𝗺. And I would like to use the Futardio cult raise to explain to you how this new mechanism works, rewarding early entrants. So Futardio was the first project that passed the threshold and was able to raise money via the new Futardio Launchpad. So here we see the project, which is a meme coin, by the way, ironically. They wanted to raise 50K, so the minimum threshold, but in the end, more than 9 million, I guess at the very end here, I took this screenshot when only 1 hour was left. Yeah, let's say over 10 million were allocated to this raise, but of course, the team only wanted to raise 50K, so it was oversubscribed almost 20x. And because much more money was allocated that they wanted to raise, they had to come up with a mechanism to figure out who gets how much of this new token and how much of their committed money is being refunded to the investors. And yeah, based on this example here, they explain you how it works. So here we have 𝗪𝗏 and 𝗪𝗏, and both committed the same amount of money to this launch, but 𝗪𝗏, she entered at hour 0, so right away when the token launch dropped. And 𝗪𝗏, she came in a little bit earlier when already a lot of money was allocated. So the new mechanism now makes sure that 𝗪𝗏, that has committed her funds earlier, gets a larger allocation than 𝗪𝗏. This does not mean that 𝗪𝗏 gets a better price. Both have the same entry price, just that 𝗪𝗏 gets a bigger share for early conviction. So if she committed 3,500, an allocation of 66% means that, I don't know, 250,000 of her USDC committed is being converted into the Futardio coin, and she gets refunded 100,000 in USDC while Eve gets exactly the opposite. Only 100k of her USDC are being converted in the project's token, while the majority of her committed funds is being refunded to Eve. So the TLDR Futardio uses a time weight accumulator system that rewards early commitment. I find this a very handy approach because, yeah, everybody gets the same price, but folks that showed commitment early on get a larger allocation than folks that, yeah, just aped in the last minute. All right, now we are over at Futardio, their official site. Please make sure to check the URL that you're not on a fake site. But yeah, this is how it looks. So you come here and immediately you see all the projects that are raising money as of now. And yeah, you can just click on them to read a little bit more about what they are building, who they are, and generally, yeah, just some numbers on their raise, the amount that they're trying to raise, the roadmap, so on and so forth. And here over on the right side, you find some more information about the token. So the launch price, the total supply, the initial float. And here, which is also pretty cool, 6.3% of all the tokens are automatically being sent to the 𝗪𝗫𝗀𝗃 liquidity pool to seed some initial liquidity. The same with the 𝗬𝗪𝗃'𝗹𝗹, which is MetaDAO's in-house built decentralized exchange. And here, another important point is the performance package, which is in total 9.1% of the entire token supply, which will eventually be distributed to the team, but only if they hit certain milestones, which are outlined here. So if they achieve a 2x from the ICO price, 20% of these 9.1% will be unlocked, and then just in 2x steps, more and more of their tokens will be unlocked, and they only receive 100% of 9.1% if they achieve to pump the price or to create so much value that the ICO price is 32x higher than the initial investment. And this is so cool because all the other launchpads out there, you know, they all have time-based vesting, so people are not really incentivized to build. They just can sit around, and after 2 years, the team and all the contributing members, they get their tokens either way, even though they didn't ship anything and the project just has no traction, no product market fit, nothing. Team members get their token allocations nonetheless, but this is not possible with MetaDAO, so it aligns investors with creators. If creators want to see the upside of whatever they are building, they have to make sure that the project goes up in price. And then there is a second mechanism to more closely align investors with founders, and this is the 18 months cliff. So even though the price bumps immediately, the team tokens are not being unlocked. They have to wait at least 18 months, and those price targets are only triggered after a 3-month TWAP is executed. So for over 3 months, the price has to be above these targets, and only after 18 months, those tokens will be unlocked to the investors. But yeah, now I would like to show you how to participate in one of these launches. Here, this is a pretty interesting project. You see, it is open for 3 more hours, but yeah, a lot of money is allocated to this. I guess this is a solo founder that is working on 𝗬𝗂𝗃, like trying to automate AI agents via Claude. And yeah, you just have to link your wallet here. You see I have 50 USDC in my wallet, and then you simply click here and you choose whatever amount you want to allocate to this launch. You click on commit USDC, you approve the transaction, and yeah, now we successfully participated in this project. And then in 3 hours, as this timer goes to 0, we can come back here and claim our tokens. But as you might have noticed, this is highly oversubscribed, so we will only get a small fraction of tokens, and the majority that we can claim is just USDC back. But if you want to invest in other projects like 𝗪𝗪𝗿, then you will most likely get 100% of your committed capital back in their token, but only if this threshold is achieved. If the race falls short and they don't hit this target, then you can claim back 100% of the capital that you put in. And the final feature that I wanted to show with you is if you click here on portfolio, then you see here that in total I have committed 175 in 2 launches. This one here is already completed. Here I committed $50 before and 25 as of now. And for the Futardio cult, I committed $100. But the interesting thing here is that, yeah, out of my $100 committed, I only received $2.87 in Futardio token, and the vast majority, $97, was refunded in USDV. Of course, the token graduated, and you can now buy it on Jupiter. Backing the solo founder. Now that we have seen how the Futardio Launchpad looks, let me try and explain to you why it has massive product market fit for solo founders, especially those AI natives, vibe coders, that are tinkering around with Claude Code and just need a little bit of initial funding to cover their AI bills.